Whispers of the Wind. In a quiet coastal town named Eloria, where the waves kissed the shores and the wind carried tales of old, lived a young woman named Alara. She was the daughter of a lighthouse keeper, gentle in spirit and always seen sketching by the cliffs as the sun dipped beneath the sea. Every evening, Alara would climb the narrow spiral staircase of the lighthouse, light the beacon, and watch the horizon with quiet hope. She loved the sea, not only for its beauty but because of the stories her father once told her, of sailors and their promises, of love letters carried by tides. One rainy afternoon, a storm swept over the coast. The waves raged, and the sky turned a sorrowful gray. Alara, watching from the lighthouse, saw a ship struggling against the wrath of nature. The vessel, damaged and desperate, managed to reach the bay. Among the crew was a man named Cale. Cale was a sailor with eyes as deep as the ocean and a past he seldom spoke of. When Alara met him, soaked and bruised, something unspoken passed between them, a strange familiarity, like two souls meeting again after lifetimes. Cale was forced to stay in Eloria while the ship underwent repairs. During that time, he and Alara grew close. They walked along the shore at dusk, shared stories under the stars, and found comfort in each other's silence. Cale showed Alara the constellations he followed during his travels, while Alara showed him the sketches she had drawn of places she had never seen. One evening, as they sat by the fire in the lighthouse, Cale finally spoke of his past. He was once engaged to a woman who died waiting for him during a voyage gone wrong. He had blamed the sea ever since, yet couldn't abandon it. It was the only place he felt alive. Alara, listening quietly, placed her hand over his and whispered, "Maybe the sea brought you here for a reason." As weeks turned into months, Cale's ship was ready to sail again. The day before his departure, Cale asked Alara to come with him, to leave the lighthouse, the cliffs, and everything familiar. "I don't know where the sea will take us," he said, "but I want you by my side." Alara stood silently, the wind tugging at her hair. Her heart was torn. She had never left Eloria, and the lighthouse was her home, yet Cale was now a part of her story too. The next morning, Cale waited on the docks, watching the fog roll in. But Alara never came. With a heavy heart, he boarded the ship and disappeared into the mist. For days, Alara sat by the lighthouse window, watching the waves with tearful eyes. But one night, she found a letter under her pillow, a note Cale had left, telling her he'd return on the first full moon of spring, and if she still wanted to see the world, he'd be waiting. Spring arrived. On the night of the full moon, the lighthouse beam stretched far into the ocean. And in the distance, a ship approached. Alara stood on the edge of the cliff, her hair dancing in the wind, heart pounding like the waves below. When Cale stepped off the ship, she ran to him, and without a word, he held her tightly, as if he'd never let go again. That night, beneath the moonlit sky, Cale and Alara set sail, not away from home, but toward a new one they would build together, wherever the wind carried them. The letters beneath the maple tree. In a quiet village nestled between gentle hills and endless fields of wildflowers, lived a girl named Alara. She was a schoolteacher, gentle, observant, with a heart as wide as the sky and eyes that carried a quiet kind of sorrow. Every morning, she walked the same path to the village school, passing by an old maple tree that stood tall at the edge of a field. Years ago, under that very tree, she had met someone who changed her life. His name was Adrian. A young soldier on leave, stationed nearby for a short time. They met by chance. Alara had dropped her basket of books, and he had helped her gather them, laughing as the wind scattered pages across the grass. That summer, they became inseparable. They spent days reading under the tree's shade and nights writing letters, even when they were just meters apart. For them, words held a kind of magic that kept their hearts connected. But war is never kind. Adrian was called back before the summer ended. They exchanged one last letter beneath the maple tree, promising to write until they could be together again. For months, Alara received his letters, filled with dreams of peace, stories of faraway places, and whispers of love. Then, one day, the letters stopped. No explanation. No goodbye. Alara waited. Days turned into weeks, weeks into years. Still, she walked past the maple tree, still hoping. Life went on, but she never stopped writing. Every month, she left a letter beneath the tree, letters he would never read, but letters she couldn't help but write. One autumn morning, as golden leaves rained down from the maple branches, Alara found something strange, a letter resting where she usually placed hers. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. It was Adrian's handwriting. My dearest Alara, if you are reading this, it means fate has been kinder than time. I was wounded during the war and taken far away. For years, I was too broken, both in body and spirit, to write. But I never forgot. Not a day passed without thoughts of you, of the letters beneath our tree. I finally found my way home. I'm standing behind you. Tears blurred her vision. Slowly, she turned around. There he was, older, a scar above his brow, a limp in his step, but it was him. Adrian. Real. Alive. Alara ran into his arms, the world spinning with all the words they'd waited years to say. No letter could hold the weight of that moment. It was written only in silence, in the way her hands trembled on his face, in the way he kissed her forehead like he used to. From that day on, the letters beneath the maple tree changed. Now, they wrote them together,